All right, we are live here at the 13th grave. And this is Rex.
And I am Spooks,
Eh,
not to be confused like last time.
That is correct. And to everybody, a happy Juggalo day. Whoop freaking whoop.
Yes, a big whoop whoop to the entire Juggalo family. It is our day, and man, has it been a good day. A lot of cool shit has been dropping today.
Absolutely. I mean, the you should see the list of news that Spook sent over to me, which we will get into. But just to go over some ground, what we're going to be covering today is actually going to be a very long episode, as I discovered just from the sheer amount of research we both had to do. Uh, Spooks had pre-started some of the research, and then I just kind of hopped in, and there was a lot more to it. And what kind of Fago you drinking there, bud?
I got me a cotton candy Fago.
Cotton candy.
Would have got me a grape because grape is technically my favorite, but can't go wrong with cotton candy. I love
That's
cotton candy.
Yeah, and if North Dakota wasn't as stale as it is up here, as it is frozen, uh, no Fago to be found in my area at all. I
Yeah.
have looked. So
And I should probably restate that I love all forms of cotton candy.
it is tasty. Anyway, so
That's
uh,
not what this is about.
right. Some of the things that we will be covering today, though, and it looks like I was an earthquake, but I just bumped my desk. Sorry, guys. We will be covering the meaning of the number 17, as we alluded to in our last episode, and it gets pretty
Yeah.
deep, very deep. And then the other thing is,
Whether,
oh, go ahead,
sorry,
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say whether ICP did this on purpose, aside from the Carnival of Carnage albums being sold. Like I don't know if they really knew just how deep 17 is or not, or if it was just a freak accident. But it is crazy,
Yeah, very, very
and I
much so.
and I wouldn't be surprised if Shaggy or Jay, especially Jay, or maybe Rob, if they maybe know something about numerology and numbers and shit, because it's just crazy the shit you find looking into this.
Yeah, exactly. And the further I dove, the more and more things made sense. And yeah, it's an overall like just crazy amount of stuff. So we're gonna get into that, and then the
Right.
next thing we're gonna do, and this is actually more of my idea, but Spooks had already done the research for another project that he was working on, which led into it, is what we mean to the world. Uh, and we're gonna go over a lot of like stuff that we've been featured in media wise, not us specifically, but ICP.
No, us as Juggalos and ICP, like, yeah,
Yeah, the different
the
things like
community.
exactly, and how we just seem to pop up in mainstream media every now and then. So that is what we're going to cover today. But before we get into any of that, it is time for some Juggalo news. We're going to have to figure out something for that because
I can just yell into my megaphone and like
it's time for news, bitches. Just kidding.
make our audience bleed out their eardrums.
That would be pretty funny. So, in today's news, and I know that my screen probably just lit up like the 4th of July for anybody watching the
We can all
stream.
see your lovely face.
Yeah. So, in today's news, we have Violent J's solo project, Bloody Sunday, which we discussed last time. Uh,
Have you listened to any of it yet?
I have not. I have been meaning to, but I was so busy today with the episode that I just didn't find time to actually.
Nah, it's fair. I
Yeah,
listened to like the first four tracks while I was walking to the store today.
right.
So far pretty good. I plan to listen to the whole thing, but about as far as
Right. And
thing I can go.
I did listen to Good Ass Pussy when that dropped, and also
Right. Clown Blood.
Clown Blood. So I have heard those two
Yeah,
songs, and I do like Clown Blood.
Clown Blood was definitely better. Yeah.
Yes. So
The second track that's on the album I really like. Um, I'm trying to remember what the fourth one was. But yeah, so far it's so good though, for sure.
yeah. So I'll have to listen to some more. Then, of course, or well, not of course, but for those that don't know, Will Gates dropped his album Wicked Gospel.
Yes, I have not had a chance to listen to that today yet, but I expect it to be good.
Right. And I think Humble
He's got
Among
some
just
good shit.
recently dropped a song, didn't he?
Um, I didn't get to actually check his shit. Last I saw, I knew that he was working on a Valentine's Day album,
Mm-hmm.
and he was running a contest to have people send him in basically like Valentine's written to him, and he was going to use them for like album art for the album.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's released it yet.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's just what I remember.
Okay. Yeah, I know that that wasn't actually part of the news that you sent me, but I just remembered like off the cuff I
Yeah,
seen something about Humble Among because I was
no, I remember that too.
yeah. And then there's also DJ Clay's J-Day Jump Off concert with Juz Bling,
Yes,
Androponics, Tier Diaz, Humble Among, Mike Rospo, and Autopsy Affair.
yes, and that was today. I don't know if it already happened or not yet. I can't remember the time that they said it was going on, but
Right.
sounds like a really dope concert to me.
Fuck yeah, it does. I wish I could be there. Uh, just
Right,
just to meet Humble Among would be awesome. But DJ Clay, of course. I mean,
dude.
it's
Yeah,
fucking
I haven't seen
Clay.
DJ Clay live in a long time.
Yeah, and I don't know who, no offense to any of you guys, I just don't know who you are. Uh, Juz Bling, Androponics, Diaz, and Rospo, and Autopsy Affair. Definitely get uh, check those guys out if you have time, because
Right,
anybody that's coming into this world right now, I mean, we need as much love and supported family getting out there and just basically growing and supporting us or the whole community as a whole as much as possible. So
right.
then next up we have Darby O'Trill dropped
Yes,
music
dude.
for the barista at the Coffee Junt Never Gets My Name Right.
Dude, that video that was fucking fire. I caught the last half of that when it was a live. He did a live drop. And yeah, dude. I need to go back and actually check the whole thing out, but it was fucking fire.
Yeah, definitely. And then Devereaux tweeted, or is it Devereaux or Devereaux?
Devereaux.
Devereaux. Okay. They tweeted out, the vault has opened. Your boy Dev has handpicked 4 beats from the Almighty Elements sessions and made them available for purchase at devereauxbeats.com. And then he's got a link in his bio to Peep. And this is just the beginning of, beginning session 2 of the Vault Beats is also on the way. What vault should I open up next? So Devereaux is very active. I've heard a couple of his beats. He's actually very fire. He's a hell of a
Oh,
producer. So I actually
there's
found some of his
plenty of
instrumentals.
examples.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got some good shit.
very much so.
I
Uh,
mean, a testament to his work is all the shit he's done with just Ouija Mac alone,
yes.
and everybody else that he's been on with ICP, Darby O'Trell, fucking.
Doesn't he work? Didn't he work with Clownvis, or is he going to?
He was working on something with Clownvis, yeah, because Clownvis said that he was doing some vocals or something on a beat of with him or something like that. It's been a while since I heard about that, but yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool. And then next up, we have the Jazz Mafia releasing their single Slumlord Remix with Kung Fu Vampire Adam
Yes.
Thesis, Dublin, and Max Kane.
Yeah,
So Kung Fu Vampire, I have not heard his stuff in a long time, but I remember seeing him in concert with Twisted so
dude.
many years ago. The dude is a freaking monster, like super
Yeah, dude.
beast.
Kung Fu's the shit. I really like his music.
Yeah, I would love to see a collab with him and Ouija Mac, to be perfectly honest. Again,
Fuck yeah, that would be dope.
yeah, it would. And again, like I've said before, Ouija Mac, I still have yet to find the one that gets me hooked in from him, but the more I listen to him, he's definitely got the chops. He's got skills, like and
Oh yeah, dude.
and maybe it's just his new style versus the old that's messing with my old
Maybe I
head,
should sit
but
down and just have you listen to certain
oh,
albums
I've
and
been
shit.
listening to like all of his stuff on YouTube that he's got out.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been listening to him, guys. It's not that I don't like him at all. He's got skills. He absolutely does. It just, yeah, I haven't found the one that's just hooked me in the to be a banger yet. But he's a great rapper. So
Have you heard the song 100, is it 100 missed calls or something like that?
I haven't heard
100.
100 Missed Calls, but I did hear the one with him and Violent J when they're in the prison. Uh, then there was,
Oh, you're dead.
yeah, You're Dead. And then last night I listened to the one where he is in like a really nice car with two girls on the bed. I mean, that's a lot of rappers, but uh I can't remember the name of it. It came out in 2017
It's
though.
uh fuck. It's I know which one you're talking about too, and for some reason it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Okay. And then for some more news, not exactly Juggalo related, but Kim Dracula released a single, 70 Thorns, with Jonathan Davis from Korn. So
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
yeah.
Um,
For any that are cornheads that like Jonathan Davis, yeah.
I always thought,
I personally,
huh?
I was gonna say I personally am a cornhead. Like I've listened to Corn since probably about as long as I've listened to ICP. And like yeah, they've helped me through a lot of shit. So, but anyways, I know there's juggalos out there that like
I always thought the fan base should
corn,
have been
so
called Cornrows, but that's just me.
corn roast.
But no, I am a huge fan of Corn too. They are definitely up there as one of my top 10 favorite rock bands of all
I
time.
don't know if that would ever happen, but I would love to see him at the them at the gathering. Like,
Heck yeah, and they can put aside that one line from the Jekyll Brothers, you know.
yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't any kind of beef. But
Well, I don't know. Did you hear that? What happened with that whole thing? So,
I know you told me at one time, but I forgot.
okay, so this is all in like '99, right? Because the Jekyll Brothers came out, uh, and they were at Woodstock,
Mhm.
and Korn was at Woodstock, and so they wanted to go see Korn because they were actually they like Korn, and so they wanted to go see them, and I guess they heard that ICP had like dissed them in a song or something, and thought that the Juggalos and ICP had beef with Korn or whatever, and so they didn't want ICP showing up to them because they didn't want any trouble or whatever, and they were trying to explain that they didn't hate them, but I don't know. I guess they never got to talk.
Oh. Well, that kind of stinks, but
Right,
I guess that's just how it be sometimes.
right. Maybe one day.
So, anyway,
Anyway,
moving on. Um, I gotta turn something down because it's keeps repeating in the background and I can't hear myself think. But anyway,
oh,
next up
you.
we have Tara Reid releasing the single "Coke Blunts." Uh,
Yes.
I don't think I've heard very much of Tara Reid's music actually.
So Tara Reid, I think he's classified underground. I don't really hear too many people talking about him, but he's really fucking good. I don't know if he's a juggalo, but I feel like he totally would fit into the culture.
Okay.
The type of shit he raps about and shit. Wish he was another one that would be at the gathering. But anyways, if you haven't listened to him, I definitely recommend checking him out because he's probably one of my favorite artists right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to give it a listen because I have heard Tara Reid's name quite a bit, so I know he's pretty popular.
Yeah.
All right. So next up we have last night Tech Nine released the single "Tell Everyone," dedicating it to the Kansas City Chiefs. Which congratulations to them for winning the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah. The Red Kingdom.
Yep.
Um.
Casimo.
Yeah. I haven't heard that track yet. But I know he had another. I think it's called Red Kingdom. Is because he made a track before that was dedicated to
Oh, the
the
first
Kansas
time they
City
won?
Chiefs. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty
So
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And then yesterday, Shaggy the Airhead released Lazy and Crazy Ouija Mac merch.
Yes. And they have. It's pretty fresh. I really wish I wasn't broke because I really want the fucking charm. Well, one of the charms that they have for that release
Mm.
has a really sick Ouija Mag charm.
Speaking of charms, which I already told you before the stream, but I have a Bang Pow Boom charm that is supposed to be coming in the mail, and
Hell
something
yeah.
has delayed it. I don't know what, but it's still not here. It was I was hoping to have it for the show tonight because it's Juggalo Day, and it would have been the one of the few pieces of merch that I actually have. So,
I do still have this.
oh yes, yes indeed. I remember that charm now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So, then speaking of more merch, ICP dropped some fresh Tunnel of Love merch for Valentine's Day.
Yes. Again, wish I wasn't fucking broke because I would have been all over that shit too.
Yes, I agree. Oh, I did, however, buy a few tracks from Carnival of Carnage and 6 Foot 7 Foot because I was trying to remix them for today because of the Carnival of Carnage. Um, just the because of the fact that when it dropped, it only had 17 sales, which again we'll get into that later. And
Yeah.
6 Foot 7 Foot because they constantly say 17 at the end of the song, and I just fucking love that song. So their remix was freaking brilliant. Anyway,
You know what I think? I
huh?
just realized, unless you did, I don't think there were any posts made about us going live.
Nope. I kind of.
I spaced that shit completely.
Me too.
Oh
I.
well, fuck it. They'll catch it later.
Yep. I mean, I'll take our sweet ass intro. Speaking of which, we'll be playing that after the news. But then, uh,
Sorry, go on.
yeah, and then there's Chris Calico and the Odd Squad family released the song "I Surrender" on the 13th,
Yeah.
so about 4 days ago. And
Yes.
I almost skipped over this, but Mr. Max Prime released "Take a Bite," also featuring Kung Fu Vampire. So sounds like he's been pretty active lately.
Yeah, and he's got an album coming out too. I don't remember when, but I know he's got one coming.
Yeah, I'll definitely be probably copping that, or at least listening to it on Spotify once I get an account made.
And I don't know if you know about the Odd Squad family, but they were at the gathering last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's how I had learned about them.
Man, I've got a frog in my throat and I don't know why. Um,
Well, stop sucking on its dick.
well, I mean, it's a frog. It, it looks
Yeah, I want to
ungreased.
hear your.
it looks at you with that tongue, and it's just it's kind of sensual. I mean, sorry. Anyway,
Mm.
uh,
Is it, is it making you feel sensual?
well, I can see where Tiana was coming from. Just saying.
Oh god. Well, before we start
Yeah. Going
decimating a
way.
child movie.
Yeah, right. Next up, the song "No Love" by Aaron Romero is featuring Hex and C. Lance, and that released on the 11th. So,
Yes.
and with
And
all
I
of
unfortunately missed that, so I don't know what that sounds like. But
yeah,
Hex is good. I like Hex, so I'm assuming it's pretty good.
yeah, I need to listen to more Hex because yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and it's going to be about 14 seconds long. So, here we go. All right. So that was the intro. Uh,
Fuck yeah, that intro is so fresh.
I know, I freaking love it. Just the guy that we got to do it for us, I'm going to put a link in our description for him because if you guys want something, the guy is really easy to work with. And I only had to do a few tweaks on my end for some of the added features that we wanted on there, but the overall animation of it was just so freaking dope. Like, I love.
Yeah.
I definitely would highly suggest working with that guy. So anyway, with all of
Now we
that,
just need to remember to put it in the beginning.
yeah, that would help. I think instead of after the news, uh, uh,
Shit.
but this is only our fourth episode, but we're still trucking right along. And by the way,
Yeah.
shout out to DC Fago guy for commenting on our last vid. Welcome to the 13th grave, and we hope to see you around. And then along with that, anybody else, if you want to like, subscribe, comment, all those good things, definitely helps us out a lot. But with all of that out of the way, let's jump into which one do we want to do first? Do we want to go into the animation portion or do we want to talk about the number 17? I almost feel like 17 is a little bit more meaningful, though.
Um. I mean, yeah, we could do that. But before we do that,
Okay.
I wanted to actually do a little short segment here just to ask, what is your favorite um, memory of just being with Juggalos and shit and being with the family?
That is an excellent question. Uh, I remember because we talked about this before on our first episode, but
True.
uh,
I just felt it was appropriate for today.
oh, absolutely. One of my favorite moments is when we all decided to gather up in the RV and make the caribou loo that we had
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea that it would actually turn out so good. Like that was so much fun and so stupid and we got so drunk, but it was so much fun. I mean, I don't
Yeah, I
know
was.
how many times I can say that, but like that was one of my favorites. And then I remember too cuz we were freaking gone, just gone. We
Oh,
were
yeah. Well,
and
we were smoking weed all the time, too, and
I
like.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We were so high, and I remember we were all sitting there, and like you knew a way to like make the door look like it was opening and closing, and because we had to have the lights out in there, so nobody.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember just staring at that door like, why does it keep doing that? And I thought there was something in the trailer with us. You had me
Yeah,
convinced for a moment.
oh, I had a lot of you guys because all I had, oh yeah, I just barely was like shifting the RV,
Hmm.
and it was just making the door open and then close. And I just had to move subtly to where you guys didn't really notice.
Right.
And yeah, you and fucking Bones and Dom were just
Yeah.
tweaking out. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. That just that had me going crazy. And then that was one of my favorite nights too cuz oh wait, no. The worst one though. This isn't really a good memory, but I remember when we got that laughing clown spice and we tried that.
Oh, dude, I don't know how we thought of getting on that track, but yeah, that shit scared me. I don't that spice shit that they were trying to pass off as illegal marijuana.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. I
Yeah.
seriously, yeah, that freaked me the fuck out.
Me too.
That was so stupid that we even tried that.
I just remember it because of the laughing clown and like but I remember like me and you just being like, "Holy shit, we're never doing that again."
Well, dude, I literally just had this feeling of dread, and I
Mhm.
felt that if I fell asleep, I was gonna die. Like I was never gonna wake up again, and that was it.
Yeah.
And my partner at the time, Scythe, I was
Mhm.
like, whatever you do, do not fucking let me fall asleep. You have to keep me awake. Like I was just freaking paranoid as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but that memory just popped into my head. Sorry, I wasn't trying to bring back that night of
Right.
dread, but
Now, I would like to talk about my favorite Juggalo mystery.
right?
It was actually funny enough, even though that person ended up being a really shitty person. But one of my favorites was when it was me, you, Bones, my ex, uh, that I ended up moving with, and your ex.
Mhm.
We went to her place after the Bang Pa Boom concert, I
Yep.
think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That party though, that was a lot of that was probably one of my favorite fucking times, just hanging out with family and shit. And Bones was high as fuck and like
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. That was I was gonna
He was
mention
just
that one too. Uh
yeah. And me and my ex had to sleep in a little fucking car bed that was meant for kids.
yeah, I
And
remember
because
that
I'm a
too.
fat kid, I'm like on top of her and she's just hiding from under my fat rolls and like
Yeah. Dude, that night was so much fun because I remember getting there and like not knowing anybody, but yet everybody was just like high fiving each other. And at some point, apparently,
yeah.
I started to freestyle some kind of rap or something. And like,
Oh shit.
yeah.
I don't
'Cause
even remember that. Damn.
I remember it only because somebody showed me a video of it the next day.
Fuck. I must have
yeah.
been more fucked up than I thought.
Oh,
All I
yeah.
remember was Jarrett, or sorry, I mean Bones, just sitting there walking around the whole place with his bong the whole time and just smiling at people and like,
Yeah, dude, he was so gone. Just, dude,
fuck
that
him. That
night
was
was so
great.
much freaking fun. Oh man,
Yeah.
and the night leading up to that concert was so much fun. Like,
Yeah, all the times, dude, any of the times where we had our little group together and we spent the night there for the fucking concerts
yeah,
and just hanging out there on Burnside with all the ghetto shit, like,
yeah. I'll never forget too that one
um,
dude that like tried to start a bunch of shit with everybody. I don't know if it was the Bang Pow Boom concert or a different one, but like he like
which one?
I think it was Bang Pow Boom, but the guy like tried starting shit with everybody while we were in line
Oh,
and
is it the
almost
one where we all kind of like surrounded him and we're like, fucking do something, bitch?
yeah, and then he almost got thrown
Yeah,
into the fucking bus.
yeah,
Yeah, so
I remember that. We
mhm.
almost got shot at. There was a shooting at the nearby gas station. Fucking, there was crackhead Mayweather.
yeah, I will never ever ever forget that.
The legacy tales, man, of those concerts.
Dude,
You remember the guy that was like, he's like, they fucking, he's like, the government, they stole everything from me. He's like, I learned how to. He's like, I could freeze beer. I invented tuxedos with bow ties, and they took that from me. And like, I don't know. He's just going off on like all this shit. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, I'll
Crackhead Manyweather though,
yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna
he
quote her,
was
but
the
oh my
best.
god, just some of
You
the
eat pussy for free?
free.
Yeah. No, you do it for crack. What?
Another one of my favorite
Fuck.
moments was when we all went to the zoo together, and I had my like
Oh God.
Jekyll Brothers hat on, the one that was like all
Yeah,
fuzzy, and then
I missed that hat.
yeah, and the jersey and the whole nine, and just the looks we were getting while we were there. But I also love being in the bird sanctuary. That was fun. Uh, that was de-
Anyways, yeah.
yeah. We could go on and on and on for hours, but so
Yeah.
I think now would be a good time to jump into the meaning of the number 17 if you
Okay.
if
I
you'd
was gonna say,
want
did you
to.
want to do that or did you want to do the media portion?
So the media portion is going to be involved. I mean, this is going to be kind of involved, but
Oh, you're intertwining them together?
but the media portion is going to be very involved because I have
Okay.
so much stuff
However
pulled up.
you however you got it set up, you know.
Okay, so let's go over the number 17, and this is where both Spooks and I were just like blown away by how much meaning this number truly has. Now, for a little bit of backstory, if you don't know, which most people I think do, but if you don't, uh, Carnival of Carnage, when it dropped, it only sold 17 copies. I don't know what the
Yeah.
time frame or time span for that was, but it only got 17 sales. And so I think ICP kind of adopted that as a moniker for, or
Well, yeah, they kind of stated that too. So yeah, it's confirmed that that's
yeah, so it's a rallying cry,
where it started.
and it just basically means if you work hard and you put in the time and effort, you're gonna get to where you're trying to go. So that's
Right.
that and that's the symbology that I get from them saying 17.
Right.
But it could have an even deeper meaning, and this is what Spooks and I both found when looking into numerology, just kind of like what we did with Fearless Fred Fury. And this is, like I said, this is the way that we're going to try to break it down and look for meaning in the numbers because it is just so crazy how well they all fit together. So,
Right.
with all that out of the way, 17 is what the person who wrote this article, which I'll also link in the description, says. The number 17 is what I refer to as the immortality number. With the power of this number, you leave behind a legacy to your family, the community, or the greater world. Because of this, you are intrigued and attracted to live a lifestyle of exploration and invention. You want to make visible the hidden secrets you have discovered about the universe. You are gifted great power, allowing you to create a greater understanding of the need for love and peace for all humanity. So,
Yeah.
wow.
To me, if that full damn definition does not just put everything right on the fucking plate about juggalos and shit, like holy shit.
Yeah.
Like it is just so dead on the nose. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. And it really is.
And it's really that's why I when Violet and Jay and Shaggy say that Juggalos manifested themselves. I mean, look at this.
Mhm.
I mean, it totally makes sense. In immortality, like we say, we're never gonna die. Our legacy will last on. Like
Exactly.
nobody's never going to forgive us, and we're always ongoing. We've already got the next chapter in chapter 17 going on, and I wouldn't doubt it if there'll be another one after that years down the road. Like
Exactly.
it's eternal. It's eternal.
Yep. And as long as we continue to, this is why I was saying earlier, it's so important to go out there and support artists, promote them, word of mouth spread around, like, because
Right.
this community, this family, it's something that means so freaking much. Not to just me personally, but to all of us as a whole.
Everybody, yeah.
And even for me personally, like, I have never felt more like accepted in a community ever. You can be who you want to be. I
Right.
and
And I've even
go ahead.
sorry, go on.
Oh, and just like Spooks here, when he introduced me into this entire world, like beforehand, my only outlook was, oh, they're just singing about killing people and they're just being shocking to be shocking. And uh, I had the same kind of perspective that the rest of the world had. But then the more Spooks had me listen to, the more the message got to me, uh, and what it all means to him. And I finally realized that this is what it means to me too. Yeah, I mean, you guys are family. Everybody's family. We're all in this together. So, yeah.
Yeah. And like, you were saying like you've never felt more accepted than in this community. And I will say, as a testament to my own journey, like I've even dabbled in other communities. I've been a part, I dabble a little bit inside the punk scene and goth and all that. And like, and don't get me wrong, I have no issue with those scenes. I have a lot of love and respect for those scenes, and there are a lot of things about them I do like, but nothing is like the Juggalo community ever. Like they just don't come close.
No, not at all. And you are absolutely right about that. And I don't know why, but it looks like our stream froze on one of my screens. But yeah, the stream is frozen at the moment, guys. So we still have audio. I'm going to have to quick do some ninja stuff.
Yeah, for me everything looks fine, but
Okay. Yeah, I got to.
I'm not on the YouTube, so I don't know.
Okay. So I'm going to have to redo this. Sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and flip some stuff here real quick. Again, nothing can go right. I don't
Yep,
know,
something's always got to happen.
but not a major deal because we can definitely fix it. So go ahead and do this, and then get us back here. Where is it at? Okay, that is not what I wanted. Okay, so hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's see. There we go.
Well, I guess oh, never mind. Never mind.
Okay,
We already got it fixed.
yep, I figured it out. Now I just got to get everything back the way it was. I'll remove that. Yes. We'll put
Well,
this.
he's working on that. I'm just gonna mention too that after we get done with this, I'm gonna do a little quick, just kind of showing off some of my favorite like books and DVDs that I've collected that are Juggalo related,
Oh,
and just kind
yeah.
of show them a little bit. And I'm gonna read my favorite part in one of the books.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know why. What? Okay. Something's messed up here. I have no idea what, but
What happened?
it's just not capturing the Discord for some reason. I can't seem to figure out why it doesn't want to do it. It's just being
Hmm.
dumb. Okay, there we go. And we're back. You can see our lovely smiling faces again. I don't know why it wanted to be stupid, but That's just how technology is. Nothing can ever work the way you want it to when you want it to. So I guess that's
Right.
what we're gonna have to deal with. But anyway, we are back again. So go ahead and if you want to show off your books, and at least it
Oh no, I was
happened.
talking about
Oh,
after all of this.
oh,
I was
okay.
going to.
But at least that happened after we got out the meaning of 17. So I can just chop this up in editing without it being too big of a deal. So anyway,
Right.
so that was the 17. Now, did we want we can go even further
Yeah.
because number 17 breaks down in numerology to the number 8 because you add 1 plus 7 to reduce it and that gives us 8. And so if you look at the number 8 carefully, it looks like the infinity symbol representing eternal life. And 8 is the only
Right.
number besides 0 that you can draw repeatedly without lifting your pen. And number 8 represents two windows above and below, one above giving you a vision of the spiritual, and the one below relating to the material. So, again,
Yeah.
this
It.
fits so well because of the material world, our world, and them showing us a completely different world being the Dark Carnival.
Yeah. It's all there. I
Sorry about that. I gotta figure out who just
I
messaged
thought
me.
you were gonna show. I thought you were gonna show us your titty for a minute.
Oh, well, if that's what people want to see, we'll have to open up
I
an
just thought.
OnlyFans for it. But
I just thought maybe you were getting excited with all these numbers and.
yeah, right. I'm getting very excited. And I apologize. I got a family member who is asking me a question, and I just got to answer them real quick. But
But
anyway,
yeah, just that and being eternal, like again, kind of falls into the or no, the immortal. Is that what it was?
yeah, the immortal realm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Again, right there.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is I'm going to read this next part and tell me if this fits as well. But it says, thus, the number 8 is about creating visions directly from your soul and materializing them into goods that you can exchange for money.
Yeah, right. I mean, that is ICP right there.
Yeah,
Like,
and yeah, just all the hard work.
and even specifically, I feel like that's really Violent J.
Yeah, exactly, because he had the original vision, right?
Yeah, he had the dream.
Right. And then to go even further, it says 8 signifies the exchange of energy for money. The association with number 8 is business. So in that vibration, you create a vision to create a product or service to put in the world in return for money. This is one of the core spiritual and human exchanges for life. It is necessary to see both the material and spiritual realms to experience fulfillment and abundance.
Yeah, and again, I feel like that. I should say to me that not only describes Jay, but I should say Rob too. Like both of them, the Bruce brothers, like
Yeah,
they're very much like Bruce is very much, or I mean, Rob is very much a businessman. Like he understands a lot of the business stuff, and I think Jay does too because they had to kind of learn that shit to do their own record label, you know.
right.
But I just feel like and not to say that Shaggy doesn't fall in this as well, but Jay, it just I don't know, it just I feel like that really describes a lot about him.
Exactly. And then under here it says leadership, which obviously the 8
Yeah,
person is meant to lead in some way. They don't need to be a success in the business or financial world. They just need to be in an environment where they can inspire others to greater heights with their grand vision.
which ICP has done that for us.
Yeah. And 8 people are like batteries that never seem to run out of energy. So,
Again,
yeah,
ICP.
yeah,
Well, Juggalos really, that's Juggalos again, but like yeah.
exactly. So, I just when we discover or came across this, and I just put a link to the article that I was reading directly from. So if you're watching, you can just click on that link and follow along with us. But yeah, it just mind blowing, like how it
Right.
all seems to fit. And again, like Spooks and I said in the Fredless. I always want to say that. I don't know why, but
He's
Fearless Fred
friendless.
Fury. Uh, it's all speculation because we don't know if that's what they were going for or what they initially intended for when
Right.
with the number 17, but just the fact that that
It's
fits
deep.
so well.
Yeah, it just how deep it went, even on a coincidental thought process. Like it's just insane.
Yeah, and just like the clown posse, whoop whoop. Just kidding.
Yes.
But yeah, sorry, I'm very punny when it comes to jokes. Uh,
Ha!
yeah. I've got the dad bod. I
Everyone
just
loves
don't.
a good pun.
Yeah, I've got the dad jokes. Just don't have the kids. But anyway. But yeah. So that was the number 17, and just the meaning behind it from numerology, and then obviously with the Carnival of Carnage only selling 17 copies, and that just being a rallying cry, and obviously Ouija Mac coming out and with Chapter 17, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's very fitting too. Um, Also, I was gonna ask, did you look into just the numbers 1 and 7 alone?
No, I haven't. I probably should, but that article was just so eye
Yeah,
opening. It was just like I had to keep reading.
right.
So, uh, 1 and 7, they have their own life path numbers. In fact, I actually broke down the Carnival of Carnage now that I think about it.
And I remember, I can't remember because we were gonna talk. We almost talked about it, but Fearless Fred Fury had something with 17 too in
That's
his breakdown. I don't remember what it was.
um
Was
it's
it a?
because of the 556 or the 665, sorry. Cuz when you take
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, cuz when you take 12 and 5 it becomes 17. So, yeah, just the prominence of
Right.
17 in all of it is just yeah, it's amazing. I love it. And it just makes so much more sense. And by the way, we're not going to be like trying to start our own church or anything, but I think eventually we possibly could if we wanted to. Uh,
Just give me that money.
right? Well, not that kind of church. Uh,
I know.
hey, we all scrubby over here. We can't all be affording to be donating our money.
Right. But is there? Isn't that what all churches are?
uh,
They're-
I mean, I, I can't say no.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the number 17. And now for the more involved part, because this took me all week to do after I got off work, and I don't even have all of it. Like, there's just so much in the way of juggalos in mainstream media and everywhere that they've featured. And so,
Yeah, it's a very massive thing when you really start looking around.
yeah. And so, like,
Within the time frame that we've had, like it's really impressive.
yeah. And a lot of it, and in our intro image in our thumbnail, you'll notice that there's a lot of Seth MacFarlane there, which for the Cleveland show, for um, smokes,
American Dad, Family Guy.
yeah, American Dad, Family Guy, Cleveland show, and I think there's some other stuff. But anyway, that is besides the point. But I've got some images for us that I'm going to pull up. And if I don't have an image, I'll at least link to where it exists on the internet, if it exists at all. So,
Right.
so for the first references, I put down adult animation, but really it's just all animation. Rick and Morty had a reference. I don't have an
Yes.
image for that, unfortunately, because they're not actually featured. It's just them making.
Right.
It was Rick Sanchez, and he made the comment. Or no, it was actually what's the father's name in that show again? Because you have Rick, Morty,
Uh,
Summer. I think the wife's name is
is it
Beth.
Roger?
Maybe it is Roger. Have to look up.
No, 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 no. Roger's the alien on American Dad, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's see.
God, I can't remember.
Well,
Is it Rick? No, not Rick. Dang, I'm
let's see.
stupid.
Nah. So you have. Oh wow, there's a lot of characters in this show. I'm finding out.
Oh, have you never watched it before?
No, I mean I've watched it. I just cannot think of the freaking dad's name because I Jerry. His name is Jerry
Yes, thank
because
you.
he hates Jerry.
Uh,
I don't
yes,
know why I couldn't think of it, but anyway,
I couldn't either, dude.
yeah. But Jerry like makes the offhand comment about Insane Clown Posse, and Rick responds with, "Oh, that's funny because 2003 wants their easy target back." So, uh,
Yeah,
and it was true. Like ICP was hated on. We've had the Juggalo Holocaust, which was more of an internet troll thing, but the fact that it even existed at all is just
yeah, that was some yeah, that's some old um information there, but yeah.
yeah. Um, then we had Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They had an episode just called Juggalo, and they had Shaggy read some of the lyrics from one of their songs, which I thought was great. And I can't
Yeah, and
remember.
they're in the court.
hmm And I can't remember the name of the song that they decided to go with, but
They quote the it's in Bring It On where he talks about
I'll bite your neck and set
your
your head on fire.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Yes.
what made it even better to me is the fact that like towards the end of the episode they're like, "Is there anything else?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we breathe fire too." Like what?
Right.
So let me see if I can pull that up here. Okay, so it just got really huge, but this is the scene that we were talking about when they're in court. Uh, Let me make it a little bit smaller so it's not covering us up. But yeah, this was a very funny episode. If you've never seen it, I just it's been so long, but I remember watching a clip from this and I thought it was hilarious. Uh, but yeah, so there you go. That is the court scene. Then we have up next. There was. Let me see what my notes here say. Oh yeah, so Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show. I cannot find The Cleveland Show. I've been looking all over. This is what took up most of my time
Oh,
today. But
did
they
you
made.
find it?
No, I could not find the image of The Cleveland Show. I
Uh,
found a video clip of it, but it was so bad that I didn't want to use the image from it because it was so low
gotcha.
res and low quality. But yeah, they make mention of the gathering of the Juggalos. But then in Family Guy, I found that picture where they have actually been mentioned twice. Uh, Once by Chris when they were talking about was it Taylor Swift and wanting to go to one of her concerts
Mm,
or something.
it might have. It was somebody like that, yeah. But he's like, "Oh my gosh, am I introducing you to, or am I popping your cherry on so whoever the fuck it was?" And Chris is just like, "Unless your name is Insane Clown or Posse, I don't want anything to do with you."
Yeah. And then they had this, which blew my mind because this was actually in 2022, so only a year ago. This popped up in an episode where Brian falls in love with this Carney chick that you see here, and her van has Insane Clown Posse written on the side of it, which I thought was pretty
Yeah.
dope. So I tried getting a more a clearer view of the whole Insane Clown Posse thing, but again, I just ran out of time. There's just so much to do.
Right.
But yeah, the reference is in Seth MacFarlane shows is just crazy.
And
And
then
then
there's the funeral
yep, and I'm actually going to
from
bring that
American
image up
Dad.
from American Dad. Yep, I'm going to bring that one up. And in American Dad, it was so funny because they're like, I even know what I'm going to wear at your funeral. And they're like, oh, your ICP hat? And he's like, yeah. And he was talking about, and then yeah, they go to the funeral, and let's see. I know I had that image. Where did I put it? Do do do. I will find it. But anyway, yeah. Then they're playing Great Malenko in the background. Halls of Illusions, I think it was.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds right.
yeah. Uh, why can't I find it? Well, anyway, it's in the
Yeah,
image.
no.
Yeah, it's in the image, and they're all in the funeral, and they're all wearing their clown paint.
Yeah.
It's also in our thumbnail. I had that pretty prominent on there. But then we have, let's pull this up here. We have Big Mouth. Big Mouth is an interesting
Go.
show.
Go.
Anyway, yeah. So Big Mouth is or Loudmouth. No, is it Loudmouth? No, it's Big Mouth.
Big mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called it Loudmouth, but whatever. It looks like we have an image of two guys in both of Shaggy's style of paint, actually. One is Shangri-La and then one is normal. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but I think that's right.
Hold
Uh,
on just a second. I have
okay.
to go take care of this phone real fast.
All right. Well, I'll just carry on here for a moment.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
How do I?
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and mute Spooks for a moment. And anyway, okay. So and then yeah. So moving on, then we had these guys, and then we have next up we had Squidbillies. And Squidbillies and Super Jail, again, this is all for Adult Swim. So there was a ton of Adult Swim content as well. And so I'm thinking that there was either a Juggalo that worked for Adult Swim at the time and also worked with the Seth MacFarlane and crew, or were just that popular, or they wanted an easy target to laugh at. I'm not sure, but I'll go ahead and bring those photos up now. Let's see here. So we'll bring up the Super Jail one. Super Jail. Yep. Okay. And you can see very clearly here we got Violent J's face paint. This guy actually looks more like a nod to Slipknot than anything else. And I'm not sure what paint the guy in the middle is going for. But yeah, it's definitely an ICP reference. You can definitely tell because even the hair, it's red instead of blonde. But if you made that blonde, it would be Violent J. And then we also had Squidbillies. And this image, I don't know. I haven't seen the episode that this is from, but it makes me laugh every time I see it because I could definitely see some JCW stuff breaking off like this with some broken bottles or uh, thumbtacks and things of that nature. So yeah, that's Squidbillies for you. And I know I'm kind of running through these quick, but it still amazes me, and I'm so thrilled to see how much of an impact ICP has had and the amount of media coverage that they've gotten, even though they're all 100% underground, but it's all thanks to the fan base that they got as big as they did, that people notice who we are, and I love the whole thing. Uh, but again, moving back to what we got here, I'll have to wait for Spooks. It sounds like he might be back soon though, and as soon as he is, I'll unmute him. All right. Oh, I muted myself instead of unmuting you. Hold on one second. All right. So, go ahead and say something, Spooks. I just want to make sure you
Can
got.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just want to make sure that we're being picked up by.
Can they hear me?
Okay, we're good.
All right. Yeah,
So,
sorry about that. I just had to take care of something.
oh, that's fine. The joys of being a parent.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just talking about Squidbillies, and the other thing I was just saying too. Now that you're back, which, by the way, very weird when you're not here. I don't know if
Oh
I
yeah.
could ever do this solo if I had to. This would
Fair enough.
it would not be fun. I can tell you that. I definitely like having you in my ear. But anyway, never mind. Don't read that the wrong way, folks. Uh,
you. What was it? In the it was I think it was the Bang Pa Boom sampler. Like, do you like a dick in your ear?
oh man, that also brings back. Last night I licked a girl's butthole.
Pretty fresh. Anyway,
but what I
so
was
what were you saying about Squidbillies?
so when I was talking about Squidbillies, I was apologizing because I was kind of running through the pictures kind of fast, but I was saying that we would not have this kind of representation in the mainstream media if it wasn't for the fan base and Juggalos as a whole, because people wouldn't know, wouldn't care, wouldn't know what to do with us. But yeah, it just
Yeah,
still just boggles my mind how much representation we've had. And this is just the animation portion, which
right,
now I'm actually going to bring up two images from the movie Scoob, which was also a more recent movie. And even though
right.
these two kids are kind of like bullies, uh, which don't get me wrong, every group can have bullies. So I am not gonna say that every Juggalo that's ever been has always been 100% above board and a good person, but because we know that's not true.
Well, no, and I don't think anybody was thinking you were
Okay,
stating that either.
but I could also
it's
see
just,
kids like this getting into
it's just
ICP
right.
and things like that. And but I don't think the animators were trying to diss Juggalos or call us bullies, is what I was actually getting at.
Well,
Sorry.
and for us, it's just the fact that we have representation in general. Like to me, is just in something like Scooby Doo. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And so here is the first one, and this doesn't look like any specific paint from any one of the characters, but I mean, change that red nose to black paint, and that's a freaking Juggalo. I mean, I could totally see somebody rocking this paint style.
I mean, hell, Juggalos can have a red nose. I mean, it's not.
That's true. I mean, clowns in general just have red noses, and even Tech Nine has a song called Red Nose.
Hmm.
So, so there was that one, and then there's this one, which is the other character that you see. Where'd it go? Yeah, and again, like I could totally see this being somebody's paint at the gathering. And I didn't even notice the skull on his shirt. It's the skull from one of the original Scooby Doo villains. I think the astronaut
Oh,
thing.
is it?
Yeah. I
That's
didn't
dope.
yeah, I didn't even realize that. Uh
Hell yeah.
so that's all I have for animation, even though I know there is so much more that I could try to find, but again, it's just there was a lot of
Oh, there
time.
was Inside Job
That's right.
also.
You did tell me about Inside Job. I thought I had it, so I told you I had it. I don't have it.
Oh, well.
But
It's there, folks. Go check it out. It's in season 2, I believe.
yeah, season 2, episode 1. It is there. Uh, but yeah, just that's the animation portion, and I know there's probably more. I mean, I've heard people say that there's references to it in Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab, and I couldn't find
Yeah,
them. Uh,
there's even a questionable one in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
yes, that's right. The character something
I don't.
Babraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
That's what it was. Babraham Lincoln. I could not find.
right,
I found a clip from the movie, but I can't say exactly that they're Juggalos, but they
right.
definitely could be for sure.
Um. Well, okay, yeah, but yeah, that's probably I think what we got for animation.
Yeah, so that is all the animation that I have. Now, I was going to move on to TV shows, and these ones I don't have as many images for, but for the ones that I do, I will bring those up. Uh, but the first thing I'm going to do is link to the parody from SNL about uh, miracles,
Yeah, that was a good one.
because yeah, that's I mean, I honestly believe that that is a very widely parodied song, and I think it
Oh
gets a
yeah,
little too much hate in my personal opinion. And why will you not just what?
yeah, it's a good song. It just I think people sometimes take the concept of it and take it too I don't know, too literal, I guess is maybe what I'm looking for, or they just take it the wrong way and run with it. And
Right. Which yeah, I honestly believe they do. Okay, I don't know why you couldn't do that before, but all right. So I'm gonna post the link over here, and the video itself is just freaking hilarious. And it reminds me too of somebody who did do a parody where they edited it out. Uh, the part where he's like, "My little boy," or Shaggy's little boys look just like Shaggy, and my little boy looks just like Shaggy. And I was like,
yeah.
I freaking, I died laughing at that. But the
SNL
better,
also did. Sorry,
oh,
go on.
but the funnier one to me is the Febreze commercial, which I forgot to put a link to in here.
Oh yeah, I don't know who made that, but that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's just there in
That
the
shit
air.
killed me. Yeah. No, I was stating SNL did another skit too, where they parodied the commercials for The Gathering.
Yep, with Super Soak and Lil Blaster.
Yeah. Yes, Little Blast.
uh, so yeah, SNL, and then there was the Mad TV one, which you had told me
Yes.
about yesterday, and I had no idea about, but it was so freaking hilarious, and I need to grab the link for that because I definitely want to include it here. But with that one, it's actually Violent J and Shaggy, and they are well, you'll see because it is just hilarious. Well, why that is not what I wanted. There we go. That's the one. I'll include the link here. Sorry, if our chat looks weird, it's because I just want to make sure we're documenting our sources and nobody thinks that we are trying to steal from them. But with the Mad TV parody, man, that one had me freaking laughing because he's like, "Yeah, well, them tight ones, they need to go in your drawers."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yeah, and you do kind of smell like piss or urine."
Yeah, yeah. So fucking funny.
And that guy is just so mad. Uh, and even though it's technically media, but it did get a crap ton of views. Was the Juggalo dating website? That freaking parody made me laugh so hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember who did that one. I have that actually put down somewhere because I'm working on an iceberg
right.
and I have the information on that.
So that one was freaking hilarious. Then they were involved with Tosh Point oh, which I will bring up
Yes.
an image for. And the Tosh Point oh one I thought was very cool because they were doing
Well,
a web redemption for the guy, weren't they?
yeah, and technically, so ICP has only been on there, I think, once, but I know they've had two, at least that I'm aware of, Juggalos on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Because one was the the kid that was with ICP, and then the other one was Superhuman, which is he's like a wrestling kid that's always like
Oh
uh
yeah.
yeah, he's the one that jumps on top of shit and stuff. He's like, this is for the juggalos and juggalettes. Whoop whoop, he like jumps on it.
I
Fucking
forgot.
love it.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, I believe he was on there too.
Yeah. So let me pull that up. ICP episode. Let's see. I had the image, but
You losing all the images.
no. So I figured out what I did wrong was I was copying images for the show for the thumbnail, and
Hmm.
somehow, some way, I screwed it all up and was not saving them.
That's what we do.
That is what we do. So I'm going to rectify that, and we will do this. It should be here. Okay.
But yeah, and that one where ICP is on the Tosh Point oh.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't remember what the kid said, but I think he said something about killing people or something, and ICP's like, "Whoa, that's too much for us." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then fucking Tosh comes out and was gonna like pie them in the face,
Right.
and they're like, "Whoa."
Hmm. Oh, that's why I didn't. Okay.
uh, Making a quick comment back on the animation stuff too is I with all the like references in Tosh Point O's, not Tosh Point O, Seth MacFarlane's
Uh huh.
stuff. I almost wonder if he low key might be either him or somebody in his like his animation crew or something. Somebody in there has got to be a juggalo.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying too about Seth MacFarlane and all of the stuff that they. Or was that what you just said?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you said Tosh like on his set because they did two.
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Tosh Point oh too. Like,
Yeah, because I'm wondering because like Comedy Central and Adult Swim, in a lot of ways, seem to like walk the same road there for a while,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
it makes me
Well, I
wonder.
know ICP even had like appearances on G4 because
Yeah.
they had like the Bang Pow Boom commercial, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think they were interviewed by them or something like that.
I completely forgot about that. I didn't even look it up because I didn't even think about it. So,
Right.
but like I said, there's so much. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to cover everything. I mean, they have Howard Stern appearances, which we'll get into. They've been in
Multiple,
wrestling.
yeah.
They showed up on JCW, ECW, JCW.
Well,
I hope they showed up on JCW. I meant WCW.
no.
and
Yeah, WCW. Yep.
WWE. And I found out something yesterday in my research that they are actually featured on WWE.com in their tag teams united by war paint. So I thought that was pretty cool
Oh, yeah.
because they're
That
featured
is
with,
cool.
yeah, because they're featured with the Usos, the Hawk and the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Uh,
Right.
who was that other tag team that was like Hawk and Animal's rivals?
Oh,
The Road Warriors
uh,
or no?
the Legion of
The
Doom.
Legion of Doom. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were also featured with Stardust and Goldust.
Yes.
Sorry, that's my Gold Dust impression, which isn't very good. Um, but yeah, so there's just a ton of stuff, and we'll keep going here because I'm losing the plot. Uh,
Right.
but then they were also featured in an episode of Law and Order, which I couldn't find any footage from or
Well,
images.
yeah. Well, to be more accurate on that, it wasn't ICP that was featured on there.
It was Kid
It was,
Crusher.
yeah. He was a Juggalo artist from Australia,
Yeah.
and when they had asked him for the being able to use his video, he had no idea that they were using it to paint it in that light that they did,
Hmm.
because he had made a post afterwards, was like, he was pretty upset because he's like, why would you, he's like, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have given it to them.
Yeah, because didn't they like try to make him out to be a murderer or something like that?
No, what it was they were saying that juggalos are murderers and
Oh,
people
right.
that just want to do drugs and kill people because we listen to horrorcore music,
Right. Yeah.
and then they pulled up on a laptop Kid Crusher as an example.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was so dumb. Like I remember there being
Yeah.
some controversy about that too, and I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like again, when ICP says, you know, or
Well,
I'm
because
sorry,
it's like they didn't want to like show the good shit, like all the food drives that ICP did, or like all the shit that Juggalos did for the community. That shit is not what they want to cover. They want to talk about all the bad shit that they can find.
yeah, exactly. No, you're definitely not wrong there. And like Rick and Morty said, 2003 wants their easy reference back or easy target back.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what it is. So I'm just so glad that somebody called it out.
Well, and like it became like what, I can't remember that dude's name on YouTube. That he's like he does like punk music and
Oh,
rock,
the punk rock
but he
MBA.
yeah, he even said himself, and I agree, it became like a fad to hate ICP and Juggalos. They didn't even have a reason. It was just, oh, I hate them just because.
Right. And that's so true because like and I like the punk rock MBA too. I was going to mention him in the YouTube section, but I can mention him now. It's not that big of a deal. Uh
Hmm.
I just love how he essentially was like, "Look, I don't like their music, but you cannot doubt what they have done and everything that they've
And
done."
deny their um their skills when it comes to marketing and making merch and
Exactly. And for some reason, it decided to freeze up again, and I don't know why. So I'm trying to get us back on the video side of things.
yeah.
Yeah, but whatever, we'll just continue on like we are. But then the next one that I was going to mention was Dr. Phil, and I didn't get
Yeah.
any pictures from that, so maybe you can explain a little bit
Oh,
more.
so the episode, from what I remember, because it's been a while since I've seen that, but there was a guy on there called King Crimson,
Hmm.
And so the plot was, and it's kind of questionable if this was what actually was going on in his life, because the Dr. Phil show has a lot of controversy with how it like changes the narratives of its guests, or they'll like plant drugs and alcohol in their like dressing room if it's like an addict, because they want them to take it so they can act belligerent and whatnot, for views.
Okay.
And but apparently, so the narrative was he wasn't taking care of his kid, and he wasn't helping his wife any, and he would just constantly waste all of his money on like, and her money on like trying to be King Crimson, which was his horrorcore persona, and
Okay.
spending and wasting money on like Halloween props and like all this other shit. And ICP came on there, and apparently, I don't know how true this is, but when Dr. Phil invites them on there, he states that he's been a fan of ICP for a long time. So that's interesting. But anyway,
Well, it sounds like he needs to go on that other show, Maury, where he's like, and the lie detector test determined.
right. But yeah, and so I see Jay and Shaggy were on there, and they're basically like telling him, that he needs to drop what he's doing and actually be there for his family.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the whole shindig, really. And afterwards, though, I know there's some videos that you can find of Crimson and his wife, and like they talk about apparently how some of that stuff was like fabricated and made up or exaggerated and shit.
Hmm.
And I don't doubt that, because shows like that, like I mean Jerry Springer, all that shit, like they you can't believe a lot of that shit. But anyways, the only thing with him that was kind of annoying is he kept trying to challenge Violent J to like battle raps and shit, and they were like, "Why? Go fuck yourself."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the gist on all that, really.
Okay. And then the next one I wanted to bring up was Eric Andre on Ridiculousness, and he has a shirt on that says "Trust me, I'm a Juggalo," and it's
Yeah,
got the Hatchet Man logo, which is pretty dope.
he needs to be at the gathering too.
Yeah, I
Like
really like Eric Andre because he is so
he is
freaking
like
funny.
yes, and he is made for like the gathering. Like he'd be great.
Yeah, definitely a guest star I would love to see on there. Then we have, let's see here. We have, if I can get it to pull up here. Oh, the Thousand Ways to Die episode, which um, apparently it decided to down with the clown. That's what it was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to remember the name of that one, but yeah.
um, I can't remember exactly what the episode was about, though. Obviously, it's somebody passed away,
So
sadly.
passed away. He
Yeah,
died.
yeah,
Uh,
he died. I'll pass
but
away.
right, let's get into George Carlin. But anyways, no, so basically it was about and I don't know if I guess I could see this to be true, because I know there's people that are actual clowns, like professional clowns, and they don't like people that dress up like scary clowns and do the whole scary clown thing, and for like fonts and stuff. I guess some of them find it offensive and demeaning towards their like clown, like
The profession of it or whatever.
yeah, they feel like it ruins their image and taints them and blah blah blah. And I'm sure that if that's true, then I'm sure that they feel the same way with ICP and Juggalos and stuff. And
Right.
but anyways, according to the Thousand Way to Die episode, it is about one of those clowns being mad at ICP and saying that they're not real clowns, blah blah blah. And I can't remember because they don't actually call. Oh, they're the. So in the episode, they're called the Infernal Clown Posse. They're not the Insane Clown Posse.
Right.
But anyways, he goes to like one of their concerts, and we all know ICP concerts. There's Fago fucking everywhere. Well, he tries to like shut them down and like grabs the cord for like the sound system or something.
Oh yeah, because he was covered. Okay, yep.
Yeah, he was covered in Fago and he electrocuted himself and
I
yeah.
mean, you get what you get.
Right.
And then moving on to our next one, they were also featured in Workaholics, which I find just
Yes.
crazy that a big show like that, because I remember that show was everywhere for a while. Like everybody was
Oh yeah.
quoting it and all kinds of stuff. So the
It was a
fact that,
good show.
yeah, so I do remember watching the episode, but it was so long ago now, and I feel so old. Unfortunately, saying that, but
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. I don't remember what happened, but basically somehow they were going to the gathering and then like they end up meeting all these people and like one of them becomes like romantically involved with a chick and then that's a juggalette and then one of them becomes like really good friends with one of the other guys and
yeah,
I can't remember. But yeah, they just become juggalos and they paint their face and everything. That's all I really remember,
right,
to be honest though, cuz it's been a while.
yeah, and so man, more images that I
What?
don't have. Oh, the next one I wanted to talk about was their Howard Stern appearance, but I mean it's
Which
Howard
one?
Stern.
There's a lot.
Well, there was the one where they showed up and the guy like got Violent J and Shaggy wrong, and Howard Stern was pissed because he was like, "Look, I know who these guys are. I mean, I don't really need to read the sheet, but the fact that you got them wrong, he's like, I don't understand how their faces are painted completely differently. One is obviously taller, so I just
Yeah,
thought that
because
was pretty
I mean,
funny.
like you had the one where they talked about well, because there were okay, so I think I could no, fuck, which one was that? Yeah, I think it was their first time being on Howard Stern.
Hmm.
I think, and they talked about was
But they,
that the one? There was one I don't remember if this is the same episode. My memory is kind of bleeding these together, but there was one where this guy called in was threatening to kick their ass and shit,
okay,
and ICP was like, "All right, fucking come over here," you know, because he was saying that he was outside the studio and shit and wanting to start shit. Um, but then there was an episode. It might have been the same one, but it was the one where they talked about because they kicked Chol Chol Cole Chamber off their tour because they weren't making they weren't I think they weren't selling enough and the fans weren't really feeling them or liking them and shit. And that's when Sharon Osbourne got all pissy and went on there and basically made that notorious bet with them about saying that they would never go platinum with their next records and
oh right, that is
yeah.
right, yeah,
And then in that same episode was when they met Slipknot, because
right,
Slipknot showed up, and
uh,
they ended up thinking they said Slipknot was they thought they looked like really fucking cool guys, and yeah, as far as I know, I don't because I know there's rumors that there's beef between ICP and Slipknot, but I don't think so. I've never really seen anything official on that, and the only interaction we've seen of them, they liked each other, so
yeah. I remember, yeah, because I remember that story going back and forth, and then Sharon Osbourne just turned out to be such a crappy person, which,
Yeah, she's a bitch.
yeah, I after I
I love
found out,
Ozzy.
yeah, let's go
Ozzy's
Ozzy,
the shit. Yeah,
right?
but like his wife's a bitch.
Yeah, sorry, but that's just how it is. Speaking of
Sorry,
Ozzy,
not
not to get
sorry.
too sidetracked here, but I guess Ozzy said that he is not going to be touring anymore, so that's
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't blame him. I mean, his body is like fucking fucked. Like he probably
right.
can't handle
Yep. So anyway,
it. Yeah,
moving on, we have the Lopez Tonight Show where they appeared
yeah,
dressed up as, let's see if,
cops,
yeah, the CHP cops. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Yep.
chips, yeah,
Yeah. I think that's so funny just to see them dressed up like that. Like,
right.
could you imagine if they pulled you over?
I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what? Why are you guys cops?
They'd be like, well,
Doesn't fucking make sense.
they're like, cause the cop cars are juggalos. They go whoop whoop.
No fuck. No. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever do that. But yeah, so just seeing them dressed up like that and then being on Lopez Tonight, which was apparently a very popular show at the time, is also pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
and then we have, let's keep the ball rolling here if I can stay on topic without getting too far off. Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's the one where the can't remember if it's just some kid that was like of a friend of his or it was his nephew or what, but yeah, there's like a kid that's a juggalo. Again, I haven't seen that one in years.
Yeah, okay, there he is. Uh, yeah, he looks super familiar. I think he was on the iCarly show or
Oh,
some
really?
or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about any of that.
Yeah, he was like a big Nickelodeon star for a while. But yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
hmm But it looks very Violent J-ish face paint for him.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
which
but as far as like the plot, I couldn't tell you. It's been so long.
yeah. And then so that's all the media I have currently images for. Now, there's way more out there in the sea. That's why Spooks was working
Oh,
on
you
an
didn't get that
icebreaker.
one that I sent you?
Which one?
The one for that one movie?
Oh, Clown Massacre. I was gonna mention movies. I'm sorry. I meant for
Okay.
television. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. But yeah, so then there was the Clown Camp Massacre movie, which features a Juggalo character, or at
Yeah,
least
he's heavily inspired by like Juggalos, and he listens to like murder rap music, and
right.
uh, he ends up dying, unfortunately. But just the fact that he was in there, I thought was really cool.
Yep. And then of course you have Big Money Hustlers and Rustlers, but I didn't include those because I'm pretty sure most Juggalos have seen them.
Right.
But
But
oh, go ahead.
then there's Death Racers, though.
Yes, I need to actually grab an image of that because I completely forgot. I apologize, guys. My old brain just it doesn't always compute. And one of the biggest problems for Death Racers is that they did not include the clowns in the box art, which is very upsetting
They're
to
on
me.
the back of the DVD.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. God damn it.
What's up?
Oh, my laptop. I was trying to turn it on because it was working as a good light, but
Oh, okay.
anyway, that's not important.
Okay. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah, then you have Death Racers,
Yes.
which is here they are in the My favorite scene from Death Racers is I think I already told you about it, but was when that chick like walks through the door and gets an axe to the face.
Yeah, Shaggy's Axer. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's like
it's so funny.
he's like, "Ooh, well she's fine. She's breathing and shit."
My favorite part is when I can't remember what happens, but Jay has like this fucking stick in his leg,
Mm.
and Shaggy just walks up and smacks it and runs away.
That's such a funny movie. I'm gonna have to watch that again, or we'll have to do like a watch party or something. If we
That'd be cool.
if we can get it on Twitch or something. Uh,
We could, I mean, I own the movie.
oh, do you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So we'd have to do
we
like a
should
watch
also try
party.
to do. Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, Death Racers was freaking hilarious, and I remember them in the interviews too when they were like, "Oh, what about Death Race uh, and your movie?" And but Shaggy again was just like, "Yeah, well, that was like a multi-million-dollar movie. Ours was like a $10,000 piece of shit."
Yeah,
So,
this shit was hilarious.
but yeah, I think Violent J and Shaggy should do more movies. Honestly, I mean, if they could get like hooked up with Rob Zombie or something, I think that would be amazing.
That'd be dope. Yeah,
Yeah. And then of course you had the Hatchet Man documentary, which apparently I guess is very popular. It gets a lot of views and sales and stuff. I actually just found that out. Um,
you talking about Family Underground or?
yeah, the Family Underground DVD.
Okay, yeah, it's good. I wish I still owned that. I used to have that.
Yeah. And then the next movie that we have is where is it at? Oh, 30 Minutes or Less. Uh,
Yes,
with Seth Rogen and his crew. There is a guy with the Bang Pow Boom jersey, which I really, really want because it's the platinum version and it looks
right.
sick as hell because it has the gold in the background. And again, my Bang Pow Boom charm did not show up today, so then seeing this just made me more angry. But what are you gonna do?
Right.
Uh, but yeah, and then I think. Oh, and then there was another movie. I couldn't find images from it, but it's a movie called Family, I think, and it's about
Yeah, I haven't even seen this one.
it's about an aunt who is raising her niece, I think, and her
Yeah, I don't know.
her niece wants to be a juggalo or a juggalette, and the aunt the whole time is like, "Why? I don't get it." Like, but then in the trailer you finally see them at the gathering, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
And then with movie references, it's so hard because there's so few that
Yeah.
have actually featured them, and I almost wonder if it's because they're worried or something about being associated with Juggalos or something like that. Because movie studios are very stupid, and I could go into a whole long rant about where movies are at today versus where they were, but I won't do that. Uh,
Right.
um, and then we had the video games was the next one. And GTA 5, I found this image.
Yeah, it's what's his name?
Uh,
I can't
Trevor's like
remember.
friend or something.
Yeah, I used to know his name. It's I don't know, but he reminded me kind of for some reason he kind of made me think of Shaggy's face paint, I think.
Yeah, I could totally see that. It's like Shaggy's face paint but reversed.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to look at though. But what was I gonna say? Oh, and the band name on there is Fatal Incursion, which I don't know if that means anything or was supposed to mean
Not
anything.
that I'm aware of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't get to play that one, even though I really wanted to. I just know he was there because he was like big news when that game came out.
Which actually, speaking of GTA 5, anybody who plays GTA Online, there is a what's called a role playing server that's custom made by the fans, and there is an entire Juggalo gang in that
Oh,
role playing game.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and you can like join it, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do. But obviously, their whole goal is just to cause as much chaos and with the law and stuff that they can. But yeah, I thought it was pretty
Right.
dope that they actually had their own gang. Well, I shouldn't say that because the FBI might put us on a list, you know. But
No, they wouldn't do that.
no,
That's not a thing.
right. But yeah, so there's an actual just, but it's in the context of GTA 5. So there
No,
you go.
I get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was backyard wrestling, which for some reason I do not have a
One
photo
and
for.
two.
What?
1 and 2 for backyard wrestling.
Oh yeah, one and two. Yep. Backyard
They need to
wrestling.
make another one.
Yes. Well, could you imagine with the graphics we have today?
It'd be great.
But the fact that they're even in that game is amazing. And they
Yes.
have their full gear on, and they got their Jekyll Brothers jerseys and everything, which is freaking dope. And they did it
Well, and
right by having ICP featured right on the cover.
yes. Um.
Let's see.
Yeah, those games are a lot of fun.
And it seems that we have gotten to the end of the list, but I'm going to save this anyway and bring it up because I just want to talk some more. Uh, just because of the fact that this podcast would not be born without the Juggalo community. Uh,
I could before you are you already ending the whole media thing or
it's all I've got for the media. So if there's more
oh,
you want to talk about, go right ahead.
there's a couple more things I can throw in there.
Okay.
Like for instance, well, okay, so in internet wise, there's also the Juggalo Ohio show, which was actually made long before Juggalo Ohio the event started this year. The show Juggle Ohio was like a long ass time ago, and I think it's like a college project. It's kind of low quality, but I some people think they're making fun of Juggalos, and I guess to a degree they are, but I don't know. I think it's entertaining and funny though.
Right.
And the guys that do it, if I remember right, though, when I looked into it, I think they actually are Juggalos. So I don't think that they're trying to like diss on us or anything.
Well, even if they are, fuck them. Who cares?
Right. Right. And then kind of moving into like music video stuff.
That's right.
And this,
You did.
well, one of the
Sorry, not to
yes,
cut you off, but you did mention Snoop Dogg. I tried to get an image of the Jekyll Brothers poster in his music video, and
right.
I
Yes,
completely
he
spaced it.
yeah, in the music video, uh they pan in this kid's room and yeah, he's got the Jekyll Brothers on the wall,
Mhm.
which obviously if you know the Jekyll Brothers album, Snoop Dogg is featured on that album too.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was like a nice shout out.
Yep.
Um, and then I don't know if this counts, but I think so for the old school Cottonmouth King fans, Dog's Life, the music video for that, you can see them. The members are rocking like just different
That's
ICP
right.
gear,
I do remember
and
that.
yeah, and I don't know if that was due to the fact that they were originally supposed to be on psychopathic or not, but it's there. And I think is it the High Society CD. Um, you can it came with like a poster, and it shows all the members of Cottonmouth Kings,
Hmm.
and you can see Lou Dog rocking the Jekyll or not Jekyll Brothers, but the Great Malenko jersey.
Okay, yep. And didn't they
Yeah,
have in the music video you mentioned before, didn't they have like a guy with a Carnival of Carnage jersey too?
yeah, that's one of the ones that you can see that. I think the Great Malenko one is in there. I think there's a Hatchet Man jersey or something. Like, yeah, it's just littered with like if you look closely, you can find random uh little hatchet gear.
Right.
um, and then also, I didn't get into this, but there was a web comic series called Homestuck.
Oh, okay.
And I know I've met people that were fans of that, and I know from what I've heard and what I've looked up is they've got these characters that are supposed to be kind of like I think they're trolls or something, but they got like horns on their heads and they
Hmm.
wear shirts with certain symbols on them. But anyways, they're supposed to be like loosely based off of Juggalos, and they love drinking Fago and stuff, and
Oh, okay.
so, I mean, I don't know much more than that, but I remember people telling me about that.
Okay, yeah.
Um.
Oh, I forgot the YouTube section that I was gonna mention. Uh,
Oh, okay.
uh, there was a YouTube video a while back by Rap Critic, who used to be associated with Channel
Nostalgia
Awesome.
Critic. Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing that the Rap Critic stuff.
Yep. And then he just did not understand why ICP
Yeah,
hated judges. Like that was his biggest beef with them for some reason. I don't get it.
yeah, and like he seemed to like some of their songs, but he just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if how much of a fan he really was, but I do remember watching those.
Yeah. And then we already mentioned it before, but then there was the Punk Rock MBA. Uh,
Yes.
if you have not seen his channel, definitely check it out. The dude is super knowledgeable. Like I freaking love watching a lot of his videos about uh, different punk rock groups and stuff like that. But his take on ICP is just so refreshing to see and hear from somebody
Yes.
outside of the Juggalo world. And even though he doesn't agree with the music, he says that ICP has saved lives, that that they are a force for good in the world, and again that
Yeah.
you just can't deny their success, and they've done it all on their own. And like his just message about that, like obviously we all know that, but if you want some reaffirmation of why you're a Juggalo or in the community, definitely go and watch that
Yeah.
video.
There's this guy now that you mention all that. I really wish I could remember his name because I just saw him like a couple weeks ago. Because every once in a while, I like to see people's reaction to ICP songs.
Hmm.
And there was a guy. He's like a pastor or something, and super religious. But like he, the songs that they had him listening to, he's like he has an interesting take on what like how he feels about things, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not really a holy roller and all that, but like he totally gets the spiritual side of stuff though,
Right.
because like some of the stuff like I can't remember which song it was, but I remember he was listening to a song on Missing Link Found, and he's like he straight up said is like if you doubt anything about God and stuff, he's like listen to these guys. Like they're telling you right here everything.
Hmm. Right.
And he's like, I can't condone a lot of the stuff they say and do, but he's like, they're explaining exactly what it feels like, and like, it
Right. Yeah.
it was just kind of interesting to hear him say what he was saying. I wish I could. If I ever figure out his name, I'll drop it somewhere. But it was an interesting watch.
Hmm.
Um,
And then they were also featured on No Jumper, a podcast.
yes, that's true. Yep, they're on No Jumper. They were also on Why am I slipping on this dude's name? I love this guy's podcast. God damn, just he's on fucking Jackass.
Studio Q?
No, Jackass.
Johnny Knoxville?
No, not Johnny Knoxville. Steve.
Steve-O.
Yeah, Steve. Oh my god, I'm such a fucking idiot. Yes, Steve-O. God damn. Yeah, that's the guy. Uh, yeah, they both Violent J and Shaggy have both been on his podcast as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they've
Uh,
been featured on Steve-O, Studio
um,
Q, which was another one I was not expecting to see them on, but I just found that interview last night. Then they were
yeah,
also featured on Joe Goes Juggalo. Well, Joe Goes, which
yeah.
I don't think they go by Joe anymore. Uh,
No, they go by fuck. What's her name now? It's is it Josephine?
yeah, I'd have to
I
look
wish
it
I can
up.
remember. God, but I was glad that she finally came out and addressed everything. So I have a lot of respect for her, and I hope she comes back onto the YouTube scene. I don't know that she will,
Hmm.
but I thoroughly enjoyed their content a lot, and
Yeah.
at the very least, I would like to see her come back to the Juggalo community because I think they really enjoyed her, and I think they still would.
Oh yeah. Well, and they were all about the Wu Tang Clan, and
Yeah, she was.
yeah,
That was some funny shit.
yeah. And then she
Um,
won the rap battle, uh,
yeah,
and got the
yeah.
trophy.
Somebody said I remember reading comments and someone's like, now you can come back and you can take the Miss Juggalette contest.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, that'd be the shit.
Hell yeah, it would be. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, look up Joe Goes Juggalo. That is the episode. I think it's still up.
Yeah, she went. There was one where she goes to the gathering,
Hmm.
and there's another one where she goes to the march.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was actually the last one she uploaded for a
Okay.
long ass time before she came out and updated everybody on what happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then another just strange reference, and it was only mentioned one time in this YouTube video, but if you are a fan of cars, if you've heard of Donut Media, which they have over 5 million subscribers, so you probably have, one of the hosts on the show that they were doing was like, there's 3 liters of displacement in this engine, and he's like, that's a giant 3 liter Fago for all my Juggalos out there. So
Nice.
I thought that was a pretty strange but good reference. I mean, I was not expecting it, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. Especially not
Right.
from a car channel of all things.
Right.
But that's all I've got written down for all the media references. I'm sure there's a ton more, but that's literally everything I have at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And the only other thing, and I was gonna bring it up, but this video is getting long.
Hmm.
But I have a So I was gonna show them off and read it, but like, so I have like a lot of you have the Behind the Paint book,
Hmm.
and then I will show this real fast. 'Cause everybody's seen the Behind the Paint, but I do have this book here that I also really liked. I don't see a lot of people talking about, and it's called The Insane Clown Posse and sorry, my light's out right now. And the Dark Carnival. Oh, and their Dark Carnival.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyways, it's got some really cool old school pictures in there, and kind
Hmm.
of briefly goes over, what they're about and stuff. And then I have the Encyclopedia of Heavy Metal, and there's a brief section in there where they talk about ICP and stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Weren't they featured? No, I don't know if they were or not, but there was one where it's a bunch of like rock artists and they're all flipping off the camera, and I can't remember if ICP was featured in that or not.
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about because I remember seeing that at Spencer's fucking years ago.
Right. Maybe they
But
moved.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was the journey through media, and this was an episode that I thought that was really important to me, and I figured today
Oh,
would be a great day. And obviously, it's
and
gonna
let's
be.
just not forget they did actually have a MTV commercial,
Oh yes, thank you.
and they also they had Tilt a Whirl and Bring It On, no, not Bring It On, Tilt a Whirl and Let's Go All the Way were played on I think MTV or something like that.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I remember in the commercial they're like, "You won't find our music on this channel."
Yeah. God, I wish we could play that. It's a good commercial.
Yes.
But yeah, sorry, you can go on with what you're saying. I just thought I should throw that in there real fast.
Oh no, you're fine, perfectly fine. But yeah, what I was trying to say was, and I know I say
Fuck.
a lot. I'm sorry, guys.
I got one more thing I gotta throw in there too.
Oh, go right for it.
So it's technically not ICP, but um it is kind of Juggalo, I would say. So there's a movie out there called Tales of Halloween,
Hmm.
and it's great. It kind of reminds me loosely of Trick or Treat, which I don't know if you've seen that, Rex, but basically Trick or Treat is like a movie that has a bunch of like short stories in it, and they're all like based around each other, and they're all connected. And it's all
Hmm.
on Halloween night. Uh so Tales of Halloween basically takes that same concept, and they're all like loosely connected.
Hmm.
But in one of the stories, they're driving around. There's a devil character, and he's taking this kid around trick or treating and causing mayhem and stuff.
Hmm.
And they steal this car, and they're driving around, and they're playing Kung Fu Vampire.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
pretty wow. That's a pretty obscure reference,
right.
but that just goes to show how deep this stuff actually goes. Like connected through music, through artists. I mean, you'll meet people that you never thought in a million years would be juggalos or even know anything
Yeah.
about them. And again, that's why I was trying to say that
That what's his name? Murs
yeah.
liked Juggalos and stuff.
Mhm. And then obviously Tech 9 and especially Tech 9
Well,
when he calls out and he says, you know, Juggalos have always been there for me. That those are my true fans. Like you can't hate on them because
he's like that's my family. Yeah,
mhm. And just yeah, it just blows my mind every day. The more and more that I research, the more and more that I look around for topics for videos. Which, by the
right.
way, do we even have a topic for our next video? Because I don't think we've ever talked about what we were gonna do.
God damn. Well, I guess it depends. Do we want to have it jug? Do we want to? Oh, we can talk about it
All right,
off. We don't have to
right, okay,
talk about it on here.
yeah. Well, we got 2 weeks because we won't be able to stream next Friday because I'm gonna be stale ass working. But today worked out so freaking well because normally we would have had a 2 week schedule and we would have done our
Yeah,
next episode next week, but today being Friday, Juggalo day, and I having the day off, just everything fell into place. So
that's just the magic of the Dark Carnival.
yeah, exactly. Like,
It opened it up. It opened up that door for us to do it today, and I was happy about that.
yeah, me too. And yeah, and that's why I figured doing the media stuff today as well for Juggalo Day, like just to again show, hey, this huge community, the world knows about us. They know who we are. They know sort of what
Oh
we're
yeah,
about.
we're worldwide.
Yeah, and people will love us or hate us. We already know that. That's just how it's going to be. But
Right.
if you're a fan, and Spooks and I, there was a time period, I think we talked about it in our first episode, but where we kind of fell out. of it for a little bit, and not because we weren't juggalos or that
No,
we didn't want to be juggalos, but
I kind of chop it up to a midlife crisis, and yeah, I don't think we did talk about any of that, but we can
hmm
either in another episode or if people want to know, we can talk about it, But yeah, there was a short time where I did fall off, but there was reasons behind it, and it didn't that I didn't hate Juggalos or ICP or anything like that. It
no.
wasn't, yeah,
And I know that there's others out there that are like that have come to similar roads in their life too, where they felt the same
right,
way. And if you're ever feeling that way, don't feel bad
yeah,
at all. And number two, just know that the family is still here and
yeah,
people
and
are willing to welcome you
no,
back at any time.
right. And it's like, it was like a moment of being lost, I guess, is the way I look at it. And
hmm
then once I came back, you just know, you're like, wow, this is home. It feels right. You're like, why did I leave this? Where did it go? You know, you just know that you're home and this is where you belong. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So, but with all of that, because we are now 2 hours in, which if you're watching with us, thank you very much. And again, I hate to do the YouTube thing of asking people to like, comment, and subscribe, but we got to do
no, but
it.
it's important. We need that. Share, get the word out there, share it around, get your friends to watch it. Like
Yep.
anybody, we're down. We want to get people into us.
hmm And we're gonna keep plugging away at this. Like this is not the end at all. It's just the beginning. I mean, it's only episode 4, and we're gonna be looking back
Yeah,
on these episodes when we're at episode 100 or 1,000. Like, holy crap! So, uh,
right.
and just again, happy Juggalo Day. Whoop whoop to all
Yes,
the fan.
happy Juggalo.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, but whoop
No, I
whoop
didn't
to
mean to cut you off.
everybody out there. Big Wicked Clown loves for all the fans. I don't know how to do this with my hands, so I just screwed it up.
Wow,
I meant to do that, and then I was like,
those are quite some gang signs you got going on.
right?
Were you trying to do this?
I didn't see what you did there. It, oh, there, yeah, that's what I was going for. Thank you. And for some reason, my hands just did not want to cooperate. Wanted to do different fingers for some reason. Anyway, that sounds dirty. Um,
I can't with you, man. Anyway,
uh,
yeah, I was gonna say too, yeah, happy Juggalo Day to all you guys. Fucking hope your day was fucking magical.
hmm
Fucking 17 in, raining diamonds, all that shit. This is our day, and we're eternal. We'll be here forever.
exactly. And again, just if you happen upon the stream, click that link for the spiritualunite.com article to read more into 17 because I think it fits so perfectly with everything
Yeah,
uh, that they have built, that ICP has built, and us as a community have continued on. And I don't
yes.
have any more to say at the moment unless you got something, Spooks.
Nope. Did we already announce probably the next day that we'll be on?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so we were discussing. Uh, we'll get the topic and all that kind of stuff later, but it looks like it'll
Right.
be Friday the 3rd. Friday the 3rd.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
yep. And it's not a 13th, but it's a 3. So we'll take it.
Right.
Yeah. So with all that being said, give everybody a huge whoop whoop
Whoop whoop.
and peace.